I'm literally using a straw right now because I have lipstick on my teeth. No, because I have lipstick on and I don't want to end up getting the lipstick on the cup. So yeah, I'm getting the lipstick on a straw. Also, my mom was the one that gave me this straw and I really like it because of its aesthetics. Now that I got that out of my system and had some tea in my system, it is time for me to do a very controversial video. Yes, if politics wasn't the most controversial that I was going to end up getting, talking about religion is. And before I get more into the video that I'm doing, hello to the side and back. My name is Tokika Uzuru, and welcome back to my channel where under normal circumstances we would try to go ahead and stay positive and give information that is usually backed by some sort of trusted sources, evidence and stuff, to go ahead and make a final conclusion or at least let you learn about something. But today, no, I just want to rant. So as I was doing research for my last video, which I recorded today as well, by the way, if you haven't seen it yet, it is the history of Halloween, which I will definitely be referencing later on in this video. I came across this article that was talking about 13 verses that talk about Halloween, I think. Is that exactly what it is? 13 Bible verses about Halloween from Country Living. Now here's where I have to put the disclaimer. I am not going to bash specifically the Bible or Christianity as a whole. So no, this is not me hating on a specific type of religion, just the toxic people in it. Now that I've got that disclaimer out the way, let's go ahead and start this rant. These quotes from scripture capture the spirit of our favorite spooky holiday. As you're planning your Halloween festivities with all the Halloween costumes for kids and special Halloween treats, you may be wondering why we really celebrate Halloween in the first place. Halloween falls on October 31st because the ancient Gaelic festival of Samhain, actually Celtic, specifically pagan, considered the earliest known root of Halloween occurred on this day, and it also has connections to the Christian holidays of All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. These holidays came into existence centuries after the Bible was written, and Halloween we know it today became popular in the 1930s. While the Bible doesn't mention Halloween specifically, it does of course have a lot to say about the forces of evil. Halloween, for some, is a time to reckon with the darker side of life, whether that means facing inner demons, braving a frightening future decision, or trying something fun and exciting that scares you a bit. Ultimately, exploring internal and or external darkness is a great way to better appreciate the light and happiness on the other side. On that note, there's no place that understands the dark, evil, and even the demonic better than the Bible. You know, than like Wicca, the Wiccans, the pagans that you try to erase from history. Am I not the only one here? I'm confused. Scripture is full of stories where good and evil are pitted against each other, as well as Bible verses that offer wisdom about facing darkness, deception, and fear in your own life. Here are the best Bible verses to read as Halloween approaches. We're going to start off with this first one. Corinthians 10:21. You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons. You cannot partake of the table of the Lord and the table of the demons. Because of the fact that this is usually up to interpretation, I'm going to guess that this here verse is saying if you follow God's word and you live for him, you drink out of his cup, you eat at his table, you cannot mess with any of the evil forces. And that's technically what the Bible is. most of the time. But that has nothing to do with the actual history of Halloween, which you're gonna end up hearing me repeat myself over and over again because they basically are making the same mistake over and over again. Now, of course, this is also coming from the person that doesn't usually read the Bible. So, if there are any Christian people that have read these verses and understand it better than I do, can you please go ahead and give me like some sort of explanation on why these may have to do with Halloween? Because apparently this here blog article didn't do a good job at explaining why. Please put your explanations in the comment section below. I don't know. The second one, Ephesians 5:11. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. Again, my understanding of this is don't deal with the demons in the dark. Rather, let the light expose them, or expose them with the light, which usually what happens. In fact, that is how I believe the dream catchers from the Native Americans work. But again, it has nothing to do with the actual history of Halloween. Next one, Ephesians 4:27. Give no opportunity to the devil. I feel like there was context here that we are missing. By the way, while I was reading this just the day before, I was reading this out to my sister Alice, and I could not read these out loud because I am not used to the sentence structure of the Bible. Peter 5:8. Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. As a Leo, like a sun, moon, and Mercury Leo, I find great offense. Lions just don't devour, they plan. They take pride in their planning. Again, I think I understand this thing. I understand the gist of this verse. It's basically saying, don't give him to the temptation of the devil. Be careful and keep your wits about you because he's lurking everywhere. You could have just used a serpent snake. Snape is gonna snape, and I'm out. I've been looking at this name of one of the books in the Bible, and I honestly cannot pronounce it, so here's editing Toki actually adding in what the verse actually is. Abstain from every form of evil. Once again, I feel like this needs context. I'm just going to take it as, again, keep your wits about you. The devil lurks in everything, everywhere, and is always lurking. He is literally like always watching. Sounds like Santa Claus. Shoot, I don't think I should have made that connection. Thank you. Something I can actually pronounce. Next one, Isaiah 5:20. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. The first thing I'm going to say is 50 Shades of Grey. Second thing I'm going to say is this yin-yang sign. The third thing I'm going to say is the word bittersweet. I got that out of the way. Let me go ahead and show that I'm actually understanding. Because I know that this is just saying if you grab like an elf and dress it up to look like a person, like a human, it's still going to be an elf. You can't make it completely like a normal human. It's an elf. Better example, You can't dress up a dog. You can dress up a dog and make them look like Miley Cyrus, but they're not going to be Miley Cyrus. However, as I pointed out with the yin yang sign earlier, there's always a bit of good in something bad and a bit of bad in something good. It coexists. On to the next one. I'm not reading this one. Reading. I'm not trying to go ahead and pronounce this one again. I'm just going to put it up here. It's this one. But test everything. Hold fast what is good. Abstain from every form of evil. I think we just had this one earlier. Abstain from every form of evil. Yeah, there's the context we were looking for. But also, that's kind of cheating. Romans 13:12. No, I don't know. Again, I've said this earlier in the video. I usually don't read Bible verses, let alone the Bible itself. This is just stuff that I remember from having to go to church. The few and yet many times I went to church. The night is far gone. The day is at hand. So then let us cast off the works of darkness and put on the armor of light. I'm not really sure what this is supposed to mean. I think the last time I tried to read this, I was tripping over my words as I was reading it. And the only thing I can think of right now is like the only thing I'm thinking right now is because of the fact that I'm trying to play through Minecraft. The darkness is usually where the evil mobs decide to go ahead and like come out and try to kill you. So it's best to go ahead and either A, sleep at night, or at least B, stay in a safe place when nighttime comes around. Hence the reason why when you start the game, you only have like about maybe 10 minutes before it starts getting dark. And you have to go ahead and make sure that within those 10 minutes you have a shelter and are working on getting like light sources and maybe a door. The armor of light I'm thinking of is like the gold or iron armor you end up having to, again, make in the game. I don't know. But the thing I don't understand is the night is not as evil as you might think it is. And a lot of good things can come from the darkness. Like you wouldn't want to watch like a movie in a theater where all the lights are on and the light is literally glaring at the screen. That's just one example that I thought of off the top of my head. This is not scripted. Next one, we are at number 9, by the way. Lucky number 9. Submit yourself therefore to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. James 4:7. This is a basic thing that I have said like at least twice already. If you're following God's rules and you submit yourself to him, you can't have anything that happens to deal with the devil. Basic knowledge has nothing to do with Halloween. Ephesians 5:15-16. Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. I thought we already went through the fact that there are like dangerous things everywhere, so be careful anyway. But like, I thought we already said, like, seeing as the days usually where you end up having the most light, there's not really much during the day that can go ahead and penetrate like that light of armor you're supposed to have on. Similar to how if you have on like diamond armor in Minecraft, you end up, you're like the closest thing to not getting hurt for a while. especially if you have like unbreaking or like some sort of enchantment. You know what? Wait a second. Because enchantment itself is like connected to witchcraft, and that's not something you're supposed to. You know what? Yeah, we're just gonna skip that one. I don't want to say Titus because I'm just thinking of Titans, like Attack on Titans, but that's the only this one. This is going to be a lot of editing, for, by the way. To the pure, all things are pure, but to the defiled and the unbelieving, nothing is pure, but both their minds and their consciences are defiled. What I'm taking from this is literally that those who are pure and that believe, everything doesn't look as bleak as if you didn't believe and therefore are not pure but defiled, because apparently skepticism is not something that they have in religion, huh? 12 out of 13, we're almost there. And this is the judgment. The light has come into the world, and people loved the darkness rather than the light, because their works were evil. For everyone who does wicked things hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his works should be exposed. John 3:19-20. This makes a lot more sense. Still has nothing to do with Halloween, but I can understand this one. Basically saying if you've done something bad, you're going to be scared of it being exposed. And as you probably should, especially depending on what type of status you have in the world. It's the whole, if you've done nothing wrong, you shouldn't be afraid type of mentality. And although in most cases that definitely would work, case in point, the dude in the Oval Office right now is only trying to stay in the Oval Office because there is at least one bad no touch case is calling for DNA evidence. Not evidence. It's calling for DNA from the dude in the Oval Office. And there's only this one small thing that is keeping him from giving up this DNA, and that is a rule that I think he has put in place. I'm not sure. I will probably do more research on that, and if I am wrong, here's the correction. And it's kind of like, you shouldn't be trying this hard to stay in the Oval Office if you have nothing to hide. Makes sense. Can work for most cases. Has nothing to do with Halloween. And last but not least, Luke 10:19-20. Behold, I have given you authority to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall hurt you. Nevertheless, do not rejoice in this, that the spirits are subject to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven. To be honest, my brain kind of hurts from trying to figure out like the little truth nuggets and these things that I'm not thinking completely or clearly enough to be able to be like, hey, there's a little truth nugget in here. But overall, it's literally saying don't take this for granted, and instead of being happy and celebrating that you don't have to deal with what other people do, rejoice that the fact that you have this. So instead of focusing on the negatives, focus more on the positives. But overall, yeah, has nothing to do with Halloween. I personally just wanted to go ahead and point this out because this video itself has to deal with Halloween and the fact that these Bible verses seem like they have nothing to do with Halloween. Again, and if I'm wrong, you can go ahead and tell me that I'm wrong in the comment section by explaining to me why these have to do with Halloween. I'm not a person that usually would read Bible verses, so I wouldn't know. I'm not as educated in that realm of reading as I probably should be with talking about this conversation. However, if you do also want to go ahead and, I just read this thing. If you want to look at the article though, it is down in the description below. Hopefully I did make sure that it was. And I am done with ranting for today. I found this to be very therapeutic to go ahead and talk about stuff that I find in the midst of me doing research for things. It is about time for me to do my stereotypical YouTuber outro, where I, as a stereotypical YouTuber, would remind you to do the following. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and be notified of when I post, because apparently I'm going to be doing more than just one video a week. Hopefully. I've already said if you're able to explain why these specific 13 verses have anything to do with Halloween, please explain to me like I'm 5 in the comment section below. Or if you have any more topics that you want me to go ahead and talk about specifically for the month of October, go ahead and also put those suggestions in the comments below, because I do have ideas, but I also would want to make more videos. I thank you for watching, and we'll definitely see you in the next video. But until then, this is Tokika signing off.